frightful. The weather outside is frightful.
So I have the foundation for voxels, miniature voxels laid out, and I can definitely show, if you haven't already seen, what that looks like. Uh, do mind that the frames will be different. The frame time will be different because I'm on my laptop right now. But what you can see is that we have blocks with other blocks inside of them. Now, the thing to fix is that you see these blocks in the background, but when I have something in front of it, I can't see the blocks in the background, and that will be a problem in the future with dealing with rays that go through blocks. But I think that's the next thing to fix. That's the next feature to implement. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to implement blocks behind other blocks, and I'll go from there. So stay tuned. Hi, Future Bryn here. I'm still developing this format. I hope one day I can be really good. I can pump out super high quality content in a short amount of time, but today is not that day. So I have to practice. I have to practice creating structure for these videos, practice creating a plan, and practice execution in order to make these videos better. But anyways, I'll let you get back to the normal content. So now I have it so that raycast can go through a block and come out the other side and continue raycasting. So I can definitely show. If I go into the application here, what you'll see is that you can quite clearly see that there's blocks and you can see the blocks behind other blocks. So the next step now is to further uh, integrate this into my engine and bring back all the features that I had lost before I had implemented miniature blocks, and then hopefully polish the miniature blocks or the miniature voxels so that they look good in the engine. So now I have implemented focusing inside of the larger block to focus on the miniature voxels. So if I go into the application, what you will be able to see is when it loads, of course, I spawn in, and right now it's just random noise that determines the blocks inside of the larger block. But you can see I'm focusing on this smaller block, but I can even focus on ones inside like that. Or this one's inside. I can focus on this one right here. And you can see the blocks that are closer, or the voxels that are closer to me, are out of focus. So for now, I'm going to start calling the larger cube the blocks, and then the smaller cubes the voxels, just so that there's a differentiation between the two. So I how the algorithm works is it finds the distance to the nearest block, and then it finds the distance to the nearest voxel, and it will even go past that. So if there's no voxel found, then it will keep going and ray tracing through the blocks, and then it will, when it finds a block, it'll try to find the voxels inside of that block. So it will go on forever. I can basically focus on anything now. So the next step is to again re-implement features that I've lost by implementing the voxels inside of cubes, inside of the blocks, and also to make it more performance. So I've just spent the past hour abstracting the ray tracing state away from the ray casting state, and you can see that it's not the same. I have a bug or two that I need to work out, and I also need to implement the ray tracing for the autofocus. But yeah, this is the current state of the application after I tried to optimize from a code perspective. Now there's a bunch of snow. All right, so I have now refactored the code so that the code for ray tracing both through the region and the blocks, that is, ray tracing through the blocks and then through the voxels that are inside the blocks, I have abstracted that so that multiple parts of the code base can use it at the same time. So you can see that autofocus now works. I can focus on this cube right here. I can focus on that cube. Let's see if it works. I can focus on that cube back there. And so, yeah, the next step is to get the ambient occlusion working for these blocks inside. You can see that I've already tried to get it working, but it's not currently working. And I'm also going to do some more refactoring as well as re-implement path tracing uh, through this new abstraction, through this new refactor that I'm doing, so that ray casts, which are simply walking through space, is different than ray tracing, which is walking through different spaces, and path tracing, even greater than that, returns a color. So it ray traces and then it determines the color of that pixel at that location. So that's what I'm going to do next, and I will tune in soon. So I finished the refactor of separating ray casts from ray tracing from path tracing. So now there are three separate processes. One builds on the other. And from there, I'm going to be able to use that abstraction to create a very advanced engine, a very advanced rendering engine. So it's actually still the same as the last time I checked in. You can still focus on the blocks inside, and I'm not quite sure why the ray or the path trace fails in some locations. You can see there's some blue there. It shouldn't be there, but that can be fixed. So I'm going to continue working. I'm not sure how much more work I'm going to get done today, but I will check back in. All right, so I'm back home now, and I'm going to work on implementing different voxels, different structures of voxels inside of different blocks. So you could have like a half slab, and you could have a full block, and you could have a grass that kind of hangs over the edge of the block and that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm going to implement, just a rudimentary, the most basic implementation of that, and then I'll get back to you. So there are a lot of artifacts in this build. However, you can see what I'm trying to accomplish here. So the dirt currently is using random numbers to generate its blocks, and you can see that there's a little random patch out of the dirt. But the grass was made to be 1 voxel tall, so 1 unit thin. And you can see that it's overstepping the blocks, which is causing this this effect where you can kind of see these little triangles jutting out. It's overstepping. And you can also see, if I look down, you can also see the overstepping through there. That's something that I'm going to fix tomorrow, but I think this is a really good first step in creating voxels inside of blocks. So, of course, these artifacts are tomorrow's problem, and I will get back to you tomorrow. So if you have enjoyed this video, please do the YouTube thing, leave a thumbs up, leave a like, leave even subscribe if it means so much to you. And I will continue to improve this format. Hopefully I will become as good as Casey Neistat one day. But anyways, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and goodbye. See you tomorrow.